the allotment of symbols. Allotment of symbols to the candidates is governed by the provisions of the Election Symbols Reservation and Allotment Order 1968. This is an order which the Election Commission has made. It's not in the Act or in the rules, but we have invoked the provisions of Article 324, which gives us all powers, and also Rules 5 and 10. Rule 5 of the Conduct of Election Rules says only this much, that every candidate shall be allotted a different symbol, and subject to such restrictions as the Commission may apply. And Rule 10 says once the RO has made the allotment, then the Election Commission can revise if it is not consistent with the Commission's orders. These are the only two rules. But then this whole thing we have done. Firstly, there was no provision for registration of the political parties in law. Though from the beginning itself, we knew that there will be political parties in the field who will be contesting elections, but there was no provision. And so the Election Commission, right from the first general election, recognized some parties as the national and state parties on the basis of whatever influence they had in the fight for freedom and all that. So we recognized certain parties. Then after the first election, we set up some standards as to who will be treated as national or state parties. Then this was being governed only by our executive orders. Then to give an advance intimation and to set this whole process in rightness, in 1968 the Election Commission passed this order. It's a very detailed order. Then in this order we first provided for the registration of political parties also, that every party who wants to contest election as a political party, then they must get themselves registered with the Election Commission, and we made a provision for this. Then later on in 1989, Parliament thought that the registration may be done under a statutory provision. So they brought into force section 29A in 1989, whereby now the registration of political parties is governed by that provision, but it's still done by the Election Commission. Under section 29 also, they gave this power of registration to the Election Commission itself. Only the whole purpose was that in our registration, this process, we had not put any condition that every party must make a declaration that it will uphold the principles of secularism and socialism, and then it will uphold the unity. So the Parliament thought that this declaration must be given by every party. So they came out with this section 29A. They actually lifted the provisions from the symbols order for the registration with this additional requirement, and then they said no, the political parties will be registered with the Election Commission under this section, not under the symbols order. But registration is one thing. Then the recognition on the basis of the performance of the parties. Certain parties are recognized as national parties, some are recognized as state parties, others are not even registered anywhere, but recognized anywhere, but they are still registered. That is still governed by this order, and the Parliament has not gone into that sphere. So registration is now under the statutory act, but recognition is still under our own directions, and we have laid down certain principles and based on the poll performance of the parties. So we grant recognition. After every general election, we watch the performance of every party and see whether the conditions laid down by us, they are fulfilled or not. So on the basis of this, I will not confuse you with the criteria laid down for recognition, because we come out with the list of the political parties which are recognized as national parties, then parties which are recognized as state parties, and the symbols reserved for them, and then we come out with the list of all the registered parties, and then we also come out with the list of the free symbols which can be given to the candidates of the registered parties and the independent candidates. So that is why I was saying that you always must keep the up-to-date copy of the symbols order and the notification issued by the Election Commission specifying the names of the national parties, state parties, registered parties and the symbols. Because we have seen in some cases symbols have been allotted by the returning officers by looking into some old list, and they have given the symbols which are no longer available now in the list of free symbols they have given. So that creates a very difficult situation for us. If we now tell the candidate after 2 or 3 days that no, this symbol was wrongly allotted, so please we are going to revise it, that fellow will say, the moment you gave me the symbol, I ran to my printer, I have already printed 10 lakh posters and I have spent the money, so how can you change it now? That case, keeping their problems in view, we have reluctantly regularized those appointments, but the ROs have also had to face some music. So you have to just keep that latest order. Whenever you are allotting a symbol, you must see that the symbol which has been allotted by you is actually coming in that notification of the Election Commission, latest notification. And then we have also specified the designs. Supposing a symbol has been given to a particular party, then its design is also approved. So you have to give only that design and not some other design. And in some cases, just like for example, this PLAW, National Conference in J&K, they have a symbol PLAW reserved for them. It was previously a symbol for some other party in some other state, but the designs were different. Their PLAW was different from the PLAW in the other state. So whatever design we have approved for a particular party or for a particular free symbol, that alone has to be given to the candidate. And you better, once you allot the symbol, you give him the design, you take a signature also. Tomorrow he may not say that I was allotted this symbol, but you gave me this design and I have printed those my pamphlets, but on the ballot paper you are showing some other symbol. So you have to keep your papers very pakka, that this is the ballot symbol allotted, this is the design.